let's get into it. Now, I have to admit, I've watched a lot of animes, right? And as of late, right, some of my favorite animes have been Kaiju number 8, um, Solo Leveling, big fan of Black Clover, big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I gotta say, let's talk about Solo Leveling. In my opinion, Solo Leveling has to be a top 5 anime of all time, right? Um, the character development, especially in the first season, was really, really good. I would argue that it's not as good as in this season because they're leaving a lot of stuff out if you watch the manga. But the fight scenes in this anime it's crazy, right? Like Sung Woo is OP, but I think that the wholesome feel here is watching people figure out who he is, right? It's always, it's like we wait for the punchline, right? Everybody's like, oh, he's just a normal guy, you know what I mean? He's just a minor. And then when the gates close, we see who the real, GOAT is. We see who the real OP character is, and I'm just a big fan of Solo Leveling, man. I think more animes should structure their animes in fight scenes like this, right? Gore, he doesn't really have a conscience. He will take you out. We get kind of babied with the soft character, anime characters, right? Soft antagonists, soft protagonists, but like Jinwoo isn't one of them. So big fan of this anime. I can't wait to see where he levels up, where he goes, right? And don't spoil it for me, guys. I know a lot of you guys may have finished the manga, but this has been a gem for me. This has been a gem for me, right? The way that he's able to turn his enemies and these villains into his shadows, and the fear across their face. When he turned his army against him, I was like, oh my goodness. I was look, you can't argue this right now. You can't argue what you're watching, in my opinion. So big fan of Solo Leveling. I think that this is going to be, when we look back in hindsight, this is going to be looked at as a top 5 anime of all time. The only thing that I wish they did more, and I'm gonna speak back on it, is the character development, right? That's the one thing where I'm like, what's his backstory, right? What's the story on his father and what happened on that island with the magical beast? And I know many people would know the answer to this because y'all read the manga. I haven't read all the manga, right? Purposely, because I want to enjoy the anime without, I don't like to be watching animes and knowing I know what's about to happen, right? I don't want to know what's going to happen. I want to be surprised. I want to be excited. I want that feeling, right? Of what's next, right? So big fan of this anime. Just wish we had more character development. But let me know what y'all think, right? Do y'all view Solo Leveling as a top 5 anime of all time? The story is crazy. The fight scenes, as you can see, is insane. But the lore, right? The lore, of these people, like right now, seeing who he truly is what I think keeps people coming back. I literally watch this when I'm on a treadmill and at the gym, and I'm like, wow, this is a very, 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 very good anime. Very good anime, right? When the guys came through, the association came through and was watching him turn his enemy, right, into one of his shadows, right? That was probably like one of the best parts of the show, because they like, wow, who is this guy, right? So from my understanding, because again, I didn't read the manga, maybe you guys can help me out with this in the comments. From my understanding, like, this is all part of the game, right? Like, the game is really challenging him and seeing how far he can go and how, how many levels that he can reach, right? So look, between this, Kaiju number 8, Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover, of course DBZ, Naruto, Boruto, we already know Like, you gotta like put these in like the top 10, I would say, of animes. Where y'all have Solo Leveling? I want to know everybody's opinions in the comments. But while everybody's talking about the DBZ, Daima, and 18 and Super Saiyan 3, right now, this is the best anime that I'm watching, right? If y'all want to see me do a reviews on what's the name of the show? Abdul, I can't remember the show, but it's another show that I'm also watching, and I'm thinking about also doing reviews on Invincible because I'm a big fan of Invincible. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on Solo Leveling, right? Is it a top 5 anime of all time, or am I glazing? Let me know, guys. I'll see you in the next one.